Hey guys, today I'm going to be teaching you about adaptations. And hey, in case you were wondering, my surgery went really well. And today was the day that I had the surgery on Thursday. I know you're watching this on Friday, but I'm talking, I'm walking, I'm doing just fine. So for some of y'all that suggested pineapple juice before my surgery, it worked. I'm doing great. Thank y'all. Okay, so this should be a short notes page today. It should be, I think I said page 74 in your binders. So you're going to make sure that you write your notes. Please don't skip through the PowerPoint. I want to make sure that you guys learn this because I'm not going to be able to go back. Okay, so let's talk about adaptations. All right. So I want you to know by the end of this PowerPoint that some animals can change their physical appearance to survive in their ecosystem. So that just means, you know how some animals can blend into their environment when they don't want to be seen by a predator? Like octopus, they can make themselves look like their surroundings. They can actually change their color and texture to look the same as something they're sitting on. So that's what that means. Species will change their behaviors for the survival of their species. So sometimes there's some behavior things that they use to adapt. Okay, so please make sure that you pause the video as you need to write your notes. So adaptation refers to the ability of living things to adjust to different conditions within their environments. So if the weather changes, if it goes from extremely hot to extremely cold all of a sudden, can they change? Can they adapt to that weather change? Can they still live in that environment? If they don't have things on their body to keep them warm, then they don't adapt and they die. So some animals are only good in certain environments, and if they can't adapt, they die. So some adaptations can either be structural, which we'll go over, or behavioral, which we will also go over. Okay, so again, please make sure you're pausing if you need to write your notes. Okay, so a type of structural adaptation would involve some part of their body. So something like their teeth, their body covering, their camouflage or mimicry, which I will talk about. So meaning teeth. Like this shark here has really large teeth that can help it eat organisms, and they're actually kind of bowed in a little bit. They kind of form in a little bit towards the throat so that if something tries to get back out, it can't. And so that's a structural adaptation. That's something that allows this animal to be able to get food in its environment. Body coverings like shells or scales are really hard textured things that allows them to at least escape a predator better if they didn't have one. So if a predator is trying to eat a turtle can go inside of its shell. It can take its tail, its legs, and its head and put them inside of the shell. And it makes it harder for predators to be able to eat the turtles, but sometimes they figure it out. But just think if a nice, soft little turtle's walking around without a shell, how easy it would be for a predator to get it. So that's a structural adaptation. It has something to do with their body that they do in fear situations or just normal situations. Okay, being able to camouflage in your environment. So if you're a white bunny trying to hide from a predator and it's all snowy around, then you can tuck your head and your body in the snow, and it's a little bit harder for the predator to be able to see you. And then we'll talk about mimicry right now. Okay, so the shape of an animal's teeth is related to its diet. So this is one of the adaptations, kind of like that shark. Sharks have large prey that are living. So sometimes they try to get out. And so those teeth are designed to help them stay in the mouth. And these meat eaters, right, the lions, have, they're carnivores, and they have sharp teeth that help them break up the meat so that they can eat it. So that's an adaptation that they have. They don't even realize they have it, but it's an adaptation that they have. Okay, camouflage, again, if you have the white fur, so this might help this bear blend into his environment so that his prey can't see him. Same thing with the bunny. The bunny is the same kind of color as the background of the forest area. So in a way, he can kind of blend in. This one, I don't know if it's a stick bug or if it's an owl, but I want to say it's something with this that it blends into the environment and you can't see it. It might even be a frog or something, but there's something living in this area that you can't see because it's blending in. Okay, so camouflage allows an animal to blend into its environment and make it hard for enemies to single them out. So here, this is a, I don't want to say it's a type of chameleon, but it's like a lizard. I really don't know the name of it, but it looks like a leaf. So this is a leaf and this is him. So he looks a lot like a leaf. His tail even looks like a leaf. And so he can blend into his environment. His predator might find it hard to find him. Now, mimicry is a form of camouflage that makes you look like something that you're not. So if there's, so like, here's a big owl, which is a pretty big predator. They eat mice, they eat all kinds of things. And so if this little moth, when he turns upside down and makes these like kind of tail wings poke out, it makes him kind of look like a larger organism that has eyes. And to its predator, that's kind of scary. So it almost kind of makes it look like an owl. And so he's using a mechanism that his body has that he realizes scares predators away. Now, that doesn't always work, but for the most part, they can try it, and if it works, then great, right? That's an adaptation that he has. If this adaptation works for him, then he will survive. Okay, same thing here. One of these is poisonous and the other is not. But to a predator, for the most part, they know to stay away from snakes with stripes. And so they know they've either gotten harmed or really sick from a snake with stripes. And so one of them is non-venomous, but he has this adaptation that allows him to scare predators away because they're aware of those stripes to stay away from them. Okay, some behavioral adaptations that animals can have. Playing dead, right? If a predator thinks it's dead, it doesn't want to eat it. This puffer fish, they puff up and they look much bigger than they really are, and they have the spikes, which if a predator tries to get near it, they are pretty sharp. So it makes it harder for the predator to want to eat them because of those adaptations, which allows them to survive a little bit longer than they would without those adaptations. This is a type of lizard that shoots out this liquid from its eyes. It's actually like a blood that shoots out from its eyes. So when a predator comes up to grab it, it shoots it out and it kind of freaks the predator out to where it doesn't want to get near that. And so, maybe the predator thinks it's a toxin or it's just really strange that it's being shot with something. And so it kind of goes away from the lizard. But again, not all these adaptations work all the time. Sometimes these animals do eventually get eaten by their predators. Maybe there's only a certain amount of time that he can shoot that from his eyes. I don't know. But if it allows them to survive at that moment, then great. They can go on and make other babies that have those same adaptations. Okay, so this bear, it allows him to be able to hibernate during the winter so that he can get the food that he needs. Okay, some other defense mechanisms, kind of like that lizard. So same thing, being able to play dead, having quills that get shot out at the predator. Toxic, some frogs are very toxic and they have markings on their body that warn predators that they're dangerous, so they can typically stay away from those type of frogs or other animals. Being able to run fast is also a mechanism of adaptations, right? If you were bred to run slow in an environment where your predator runs after you, you're going to die. But in this environment, the gazelle has a mechanism, has an adaptation that allows him to run faster. And so because of that, he can sometimes escape his predator. Okay, so that's all the notes, guys, for today. Very, very short notes. Please make sure that you go into the rest of the folder, look through what you're supposed to do for today and ask Coach Hirsch if you have any questions, if you're first period through sixth period. He can text me too if he has questions. Guys, most likely I'll see you on Monday. I feel much better. I could come back tomorrow, but I'm going to go ahead and rest it out for another day. But meaning today is your day. I'm making this video a day early. So please just behave, do what you need to do, and look through the rest of that folder, and y'all be good and have a great day. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.